The first $100,000 is a B word. But you have got to do it. Those aren't my words. That is the famous, slightly aggressive advice of the late Charlie Munger. He didn't say the first 100,000 was tricky or annoying. He said it was brutal. And in 2026, as you sit there looking at your screen, those words carry more weight than they ever did in the 90s. Getting from 0 to 6 figures is the single hardest financial task you will ever undertake, because it is the only phase of your life where the laws of physics seem to be working against you. It feels painfully slow. It feels like the math is broken. It feels like the world is designed to keep you at 0. Most people quit before they ever get there because they don't understand that the rules of money change completely once you cross that line. If you are currently sitting at $10,000 or $20,000, or maybe even a negative net worth, you probably feel like you are pushing a massive granite boulder up a steep hill while wearing roller skates. Today, I'm going to show you why that feeling is 100% valid, backed by raw math. But more importantly, why the journey to your first million is actually easier than that first chunk. We have entered a new era. In 2026, the cost of living has stabilized in some areas, but skyrocketed in others. We've seen the rise of AI-driven economies and a shift in how wealth is built. Yet, the fundamental snowball effect Munger spoke about remains unchanged. When Munger made that comment, he wasn't talking about buying a luxury lifestyle. He was talking about a threshold, a specific tipping point in the physics of money. He famously said, "I do not care what you have to do. If it means walking everywhere and not eating anything that wasn't purchased with a coupon, find a way to get your hands on $100,000. After that, you can ease off the gas a little." That last part is the secret. You can ease off. Why? Because before that number, you are the engine. After that number, your money starts becoming the engine. Let's look at the dead zone of wealth building. Imagine you finally started investing. You're putting away $500 a month, which is a massive win in today's economy. You've got $5,000 in your account. You have a great year and the market returns 10%. Your reward? $500. After a whole year of market volatility, geopolitical news, and checking your app, you made enough to pay for one grocery run and a tank of gas. It's insulting. You could have made that same $500 just by skipping 2 weekend trips or selling some old gear on a secondary market. At this stage, your labor, the hours you spend working, is 1,000% more powerful than your capital. This is where 90% of people fail. They look at that $500 gain and think, this isn't working. Why am I sacrificing my youth and my lattes for $500 a year? They miss the forest for the trees. They don't realize they aren't just saving money. They are buying money soldiers that will eventually fight for them. In 2026, we have a unique problem: digital fatigue. We see 20-year-olds on social media claiming they made $100,000 in a weekend using AI bots or crypto flips. It makes a slow, steady grind of $500 a month feel like a joke. But here is the reality. Those overnight successes are the lottery winners. The B word Munger talked about is the reliable path. Let's run the 2026 math. If you invest $6,000 a year with a 7% return, at the end of year 5, you have roughly $34,500. Out of that, $30,000 is your own hard-earned cash. Only $4,500 is growth. You've been grinding for 1,825 days, and the market has barely bought you a high-end laptop. This is the meat grinder phase. You are doing 85% of the work, and the money is doing 15%. Most people look at their account at year 5 and say, I could have spent that $30,000 on a new car and my life would be better. But they are walking away right before the explosion. What happens at the $100,000 mark? The market doesn't change. The S&P 500 doesn't care about your balance. But the math flips. Once you have $100,000 invested, that same 7% return is $7,000 in a single year. Think about that. $7,000 is more than many people can physically save in a year after taxes, rent, and inflation. Suddenly, you have a second you, working a part-time job and giving you 100% of the paycheck. You've effectively hired a digital twin who doesn't eat, doesn't sleep, and just stacks cash. This is the crossover point. This is where the money your money makes starts to rival the money you make. Let's talk about the wealth acceleration curve. To go from $0 to $100,000 might take you 7 to 9 years of brutal discipline. But to go from $100,000 to $200,000, even if you never increase your savings, it might only take 4 or 5 years. From $200,000 to $300,000, maybe 3 years. By the time you're at $600,000, your portfolio is adding $100,000 to your net worth every 18 to 24 months. Just by existing. This is why the rich get richer. It's not a conspiracy. It's just how exponents work. The first $100,000 is the price of admission to the world of compounding. If you don't pay that price, you stay a spectator forever. But why is it so much harder in 2026? Because we are fighting a war on 2 fronts. Internal and external. Externally, we are dealing with lifestyle creep on steroids. Everything is a subscription. Every app is designed to extract $9.99 from you. Your rent is higher, your insurance is higher, and the temptation to look wealthy is everywhere. Internally, we lack the investor identity. When you have $2,000, you don't feel like an investor. You feel like a person with a small emergency fund. You haven't built the calluses yet. You haven't seen your portfolio drop 20% and had the stomach to stay in. The first $100,000 is where you earn your combat badge in the markets. So, how do we hack this in 2026? You need a brute force strategy. Step 1. Accept that this phase is savings-driven, not return-driven. Stop looking for the perfect investment. If you have $10,000, the difference between a 7% return and a 15% return is only $800. It's not enough to change your life. What changes your life is finding a way to save an extra $5,000 this year. In the muscle phase, you don't need a PhD in finance. You need a PhD in discipline. You need to pull every lever. In 2026, that means using AI to automate your side hustles. Job hopping to increase your base salary by 20%. and living like you're still a student, even when you're making six figures. Munger's advice about walking everywhere was about temporary extremity. You aren't signing up for a lifetime of misery. You are signing up for a 3 to 5 year sprint to build a foundation that will support you for the next 50 years. Think of it like a rocket ship. A rocket uses 80% of its fuel just to get off the launch pad and out of the atmosphere. Once it's in orbit, it needs almost zero fuel to keep moving at thousands of miles per hour. Your first $100,000 is the launch pad. It is the heavy lifting, the fire, the noise, and the struggle. But once you hit orbit, the physics of the universe take over. There's a hidden enemy in 2026, the comparison trap. You see people on the internet talking about passive income, like it's easy. Passive income is a lie for people with no capital. You cannot have passive income without active capital. And you cannot have active capital without a period of intense, active work. You have to earn the right to be passive. People who hit $100,000 fast in today's world do 3 specific things. First, they treat every windfall, tax refunds, bonuses, side gig cash, as fortress bricks. They don't celebrate a $1,000 bonus by buying a new phone. They celebrate it by buying 10 shares of an index fund. Second, they keep their biggest expenses, housing and transport, absurdly low. They know that a $600 car payment is the fastest way to kill a snowball. Third, they ignore the noise. They don't check their accounts every day. They check their savings rate every month. I know what you're thinking. $100,000 isn't what it used to be. Inflation has made it more like $150,000. You're right. But that shouldn't discourage you. It should terrify you into starting faster. If the finish line moved further away, you don't stop running. Breathe deeper and run harder. The principle remains. There is a specific amount of money that, once reached, changes your relationship with reality. It's the point where you stop working for money and money starts working for you. Imagine it is 2030. You're sitting at a cafe. You look at your phone and see that the market went up 2% today. You check your balance and realize you made $4,000 while you were drinking your coffee. That $4,000 is more than you used to make in a month of hard labor back in 2025. You feel a sense of calm that 90% of the population will never know. You aren't worried about your boss, you aren't worried about a layoff, and you aren't worried about the price of eggs. You are free. That freedom was bought with the B-word years. It was bought by the version of you who is listening to this right now, the one who decided that the sacrifice was worth the prize. To wrap this up, I want you to categorize your journey into 3 distinct zones. Zone 1, the muscle zone, $0 to $100,000. Your job is to grind. Your mindset is extreme savings. You are the engine. Every dollar is a struggle, and that is okay. Zone 2, the snowball zone, $100,000 to $500,000. Your job is to not break the machine. You start to see the money soldiers winning battles for you. You can breathe, but don't stop. Zone 3, the acceleration zone, $500,000 plus. This is where the math becomes magical. This is where you have earned the right to design your life exactly how you want it. If you are in Zone 1, do not get discouraged. You are building the foundation of a skyscraper. No one cheers when the hole is being dug in the ground. It's dirty, it's slow, and it looks like nothing is happening. But without that deep, painful foundation, the building can never reach the clouds. You've probably fought to get to your first $5,000 or $10,000. Those weren't pointless steps. Those were the training arcs. You are becoming the kind of person who can handle wealth. In 2026, the world wants you to be a consumer. It wants you to stay at zero. It wants you to trade your time for shiny objects that lose value the moment you buy them. Be a rebel. Choose the snowball. Choose the struggle today so you can have the choice tomorrow. Charlie Munger was right. It is a B word. But it is the most important battle you will ever win. The question isn't whether the math works. We know it does. The question is, do you have the guts to stay on the hill long enough to let the snowball take over? The clock is ticking. Inflation is breathing down your neck. The AI revolution is changing the job market. There has never been a more urgent time to get your hands on that first $100,000. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop waiting for a miracle. Build the muscle. Start the engine. Push the boulder. Because once you hit that summit, the view is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen. I want to hear from you. Where are you on the curve? Are you still in the muscle zone, or have you felt the first cold breeze of the snowball? Leave a comment, share your math, and let's prove that in 2026, the path to wealth is still open for those willing to do the B-word work. I'm Tom. This is the blueprint for your future, and I'll see you at the $100,000 mark.